This game is bad. Normally I'd start off by telling you what the game is about, but I figured I'd just tell you now just in case you're in a hurry or something. This game has some serious design flaws. You play as Sebastian Castellanos, a generic, gritty, hard-boiled detective who drinks away his problems. You're sent to investigate multiple homicides at a mental hospital with your team. You have Joseph, the generic by-the-books detective who literally has no backstory or character development, and you have Kidman, the girl one. It's worth noting that she doesn't even have a first name until the credits roll. I mean, they never say Joseph's last name, but at least calling him by his first name implies familiarity. I understand that she's the rookie and you call the rookie by their last name, but going through this shit should bring the characters together. But in this game, it doesn't. And if the character I'm playing doesn't care about this character, why should I? But I'm getting ahead of myself on the criticism. I haven't even gotten to the story. So you're investigating the mental hospital when suddenly the antagonist Ruvik shows up. He knocks you out and sends you to some Silent Hill dungeon under the hospital. In fact, with its dirty industrial setting and psychological symbolism themes, this game really seems like it's trying to be Silent Hill with a barbed wire fetish. Again, I digress. When you escape the hospital, you get in an ambulance with one of the patients named Leslie and his doctor, Anthony Hopkins. You escape the city as it's collapsing for some reason, and the rest of the story is just some variation on survive event, go to location, stop Ruvik, and find person in order to save them, even though they seem to be surviving on their own better than whenever you get there. Really, that's the whole story. You typically just go with the flow since reality keeps altering itself to lead you in some new direction that doesn't matter. The only other kind of story you get is a little backstory for Sebastian, even less backstory for Kidman, and a decent amount of backstory for Ruvik. Unfortunately, it only starts giving you backstory around halfway through the game, and even then it doesn't develop the characters because their stories don't seem to affect their personalities or the way they act in any way. But I'll admit, there are a few things that this game did right. 1. The combat mechanics were done well. The controls are solid and most things behave the way you would expect. 2. The way you killed the barbed wire zombies works well. You have to kill them by exploding their heads, stabbing their brains, or setting them on fire. It's not like most zombie games where you can kill them with enough damage, so you have to plan your attacks better. 3. The graphics are really good. I mean, just look at that. Unfortunately, it comes at a price. In about half the shots in every single cutscene, the textures take a half-second to load. Sometimes it even loads the same textures twice in the same scene, and it happens in the gameplay too, it's just more noticeable in the cutscenes. Let's count how many times it loads this same door texture in this one cutscene.
Is that you? Leslie, that's good. Just a little more. What is it? Ruvik?
If you're gonna have good graphics, great. If you're gonna have bad graphics, that's fine too, I really don't care. But please choose one. Don't switch between PS1 graphics and PS4 graphics 20 times per cutscene. It's distracting. And the fourth thing this game did right, it actually tried to have psychological symbolism. It didn't do a very good job, but at least it tried. Like the degradation in this asylum is the degradation of your mind. The world falling apart is a descent into madness. This enemy represents Ruvik's sister, and this enemy represents Pyramid Head. Whoops, did I say that? I meant this enemy is Pyramid Head. The biggest problem with the game is it doesn't know what kind of game it's trying to be, and every design choice seems to contradict another. It gives you very limited ammo and supplies to be a survival horror like Resident Evil or Silent Hill, but it keeps throwing you into combat arenas where you fight waves of guys like an action game. Then because it didn't give you very much ammo, you can't even fight them off very well. In fact, the action sections reduce any amount of horror that the game generated. Because it sure is scary when you kill hundreds of the same enemy, or gun them down in a turret section, or driving sections where you kill everything in one hit. It also keeps encouraging you to use stealth, with tripwires, proximity mines that explode if you're not sneaking, an abundance of chest-high walls to hide behind, bottles to throw and make distractions, and these hiding places, which I'm pretty sure were only added because they were so popular in Amnesia and Outlast. But you only end up using them like 4 times in the entire 12-hour game. So it has all these stealth mechanics, but it keeps throwing you into situations where stealth is impossible just because the game wanted to make it an action sequence. Let's watch a montage of just a few of the times it does this. This is the only exit. I can see this tripwire in the way. It isn't letting me disarm the trap, and there's no jump button, so I have no choice but to activate it and get caught. If it's going to make it mandatory to fall into a trap, it should make the trap undetectable, so I'm not purposefully making stupid decisions that put me in danger. There are a ton of zombies in this area. I managed to sneak past all of them, but this one guy is blocking the exit, and the game doesn't give you any way to distract him, so you have no choice but to run right in front of him. And sure enough, a few seconds later, there's a cutscene where you're being chased by a bunch of them. Scripted sequence. There's an obvious threat in this next room, so of course I want to sneak up on it, but the cutscene aggroes him. There are 2 zombies waiting for me around this corner. Fucking campers, they won't even react if I throw a bottle like every other zombie in the game. This guy saw me through a wall. There's no way to stealth past him if he can do that. I wasn't trying to be sneaky here, but this guy is obviously scripted to pop out of there when you get close. You have no choice. All of these things take away player agency. By giving the same action-y results whether you're sneaking well or not, it makes it so the player's choices don't matter. And those choices, that interactivity, is what makes video games what they are. If it always happens the same, it would be better suited for a movie. In fact, this whole game is trying too hard to be cinematic, and it's not working. It has these letterboxes to put it in a 2.5:1 aspect ratio, which is even a bit extreme for cinema. Movies usually only go up to 2.35:1, but in movies that works because the director and cinematographer control exactly where the camera is and what it's looking at to get the point across. In this game, you're in control of the camera, and unless you've played it before, you don't know exactly where to look. And the letterboxes are cutting off a significant portion of the screen. Look at this screenshot. With the letterboxes and the character taking up so much space, you can only see 55% of the screen. Plus it has a depth of field effect. Unfortunately, it only focuses on Sebastian here. Why would I need to look there, game? I know he's there. He's always there. I need to be able to focus on the barbed wire zombies coming at me. It makes it really hard to control the camera and look where you need to. There is so much to say about The Evil Within, so I want to do another nitpick rapid fire like I did with Alan Wake. But in this game, it's more than just nitpicking. There are a lot of major issues in the design. But there will be spoilers beyond this point in the video. Not that you should care because this game is terrible and you shouldn't play it. Here we go. There's no reason why I should have to press any key twice in a row. She's looking right into the camera. In film, this is considered a problem, and yet they don't fix it here. This is animation. They have the ability to fix it.
We're gonna check it out. Don't let anyone else through this door.
I can be an extra set of eyes.
We don't know what's happening here. You're a backup.
Of course, don't let her help with this situation. It's not like they just sent 20 cop cars of people in there who were never seen again. You don't need the help of a girl. 2 people is totally enough. And I'm sure Officer Redshirt out there will need help making sure that no one goes in. Fucking sexist. After that stupid tripwire thing I mentioned earlier, it puts you into this chase scene. But since this is just a straight path, there's nothing you can do but run forwards. Once again, this takes away from player agency. If all you can do is hold forward on the analog stick, this is practically a cutscene. And in a cutscene, this is so much less intense. If you get hit, it was scripted. Yeah, like that. Then these blades come out, but it's not scary since the only thing you can do is hold forwards. So of course you have enough time to make it. The only way it could result in death is if you purposefully don't try to get away from it. This game keeps doing this over and over and over again. Yeah, close the door. That'll stop it. Oh no, he fell in blood. That's scary because everyone knows blood equals scary. So therefore, lots of blood equals lots of scary. Sebastian is the slowest ladder climber in the world. Probably has something to do with getting his Achilles tendon slashed with a chainsaw. At least you don't have a problem walking through raw sewage with an open wound.
Where's the exit?
Who are you talking to? The only person here is that guy and he's dead. Oh my god, this note sitting in front of him answered my question. This game is scary. Why would they put a ladder this long in here when I climb so slow? I never thought that it was scary when you're hiding in these closets. That guy may be dancing around like Leatherface, but there's no chance that he's going to attack me unless he saw me enter the hiding spot. At least in Amnesia and Outlast, the bad guys would leave after just a couple of seconds of searching. This guy stays in the room doing nothing for 43 seconds. Yeah, I can run again. I'm so glad my leg healed from that chainsaw wound in just 11 minutes. You hear that static? We must be in Silent Hill. Isaac Clarke!
Over here! That's right, this way!
The duck distracted these guys, but they're still here. What gives? There are a bunch of switches like this that activate traps for the zombies, but it never makes it clear what they control. Like this one. It sounds like it activates a machine gun or something, but I can't see what it does, so I'm never gonna use it.
Great. There's gotta be something that'll get through this. Maybe a chainsaw or something.
Wow. Real subtle. Hey, zombie. What's that over there? Shit. This game has two kinds of bosses. Puzzle bosses, and bosses that you just kill with enough damage. And it really doesn't make it clear which bosses are which. I thought this guy was a puzzle boss because shooting him doesn't slow him down or have any visible effect on him. I thought I would have to lure him into breaking that chain. But no, you just have to shoot him a bunch. Then he drops his chainsaw and you use it on the chain. Wait, where'd the chainsaw go? Why did I drop it? That could have been a valuable weapon. Whoa, spoilers game. I haven't even seen a bloody long-haired creature.
Oh, the hospice. Yes. Leslie was being treated here years ago. He'd come here thinking it was familiar and safe.
You know where we are?
Yeah, he just said he did.
Just ahead is the hospice my brother runs. He'll take us in.
That didn't answer my question.
It totally did. Why is Sebastian such an idiot? I want to play as a different character. I'll just sneak up on this guy.
There's no time for fooling around.
Remember, kids, if you find an unlabeled syringe inside the chest cavity of a burned out barbed wire zombie, or just lying on the street, immediately shoot it into your arm. It's sure to heal you. So here it introduces this new enemy type that is completely invisible. Yes, really. It doesn't even have a distortion visual to give you an idea where it is. And when it does appear, it doesn't use an effect or anything. It's just invisible 1 second, and eating your face off a few frames later. When this first happened, I honestly thought it was a glitch. I was completely ready to complain about the game being so glitchy that some of the enemies don't even get rendered. But now I'm even more justified in complaining about poor enemy design. After you kill that guy, the game takes away your control while the doc is talking. Then he yells at you for being slow before it gives you your control back. That's like if someone punched you in the face for no reason, then yelled at you for making their fist hurt. It's your own fault, dick. Now Ruvik shows up and, you know, they never really gave me a reason to be afraid of this guy. He just sort of teleported around a bit near the beginning, and stood there after I killed the chainsaw man. So when he showed up, I just stood there and he insta-killed me. Then I figured out that the game wanted me to be so scared of this guy that I run away. Yeah, I'm not scared of people standing near me or walking towards me. And what does that say about this game's target audience? Hey, that's a cool effect. Silent Hill 2 did it first, but this did it better, so we'll call it even then.
It's been a while since your last visit.
What are you talking about? I come back here every 10 minutes. This next area also reminds me of Silent Hill. Just look at these environments and tell me you don't see the similarities. It also has some cool moments like this. And this. Unfortunately, it has more of those stupid invisible enemies. This one had me pinned to a wall, so that's cool.
Looks like I have to get down.
Then you find Joseph, and they gave him a health bar, because you know how everyone loves protecting the AI. My biggest problem with it is if Sebastian can heal himself with mystery syringes, why can't Joseph?
Hello, Sebastian. I want to play a game. I've taken your partner and put her in a fairly easy to disarm trap. It's nothing compared to that bomb door a few rooms back, but this one is surrounded by waves of guys. If you truly value her life, because frankly I'm not convinced, you'll kill about 80 more of the same zombies you've been fighting for the last 2 hours. The water will rise at a shockingly slow rate. This isn't actually supposed to kill her, you see. It's just contrived to symbolize the fact that everyone is actually trapped in a sort of water tank. Spoilers.
Yeah, that's nowhere near where the water level is. So you free her, but she falls down a bottomless pit, which naturally you hop down without question. Oh hey, there's Silent Hill 2 again. How about that? So you meet up with Joseph and Kidman again, but strangely, Kidman doesn't have a health bar. Joseph has a health bar, why doesn't Kidman have a health bar? She's there fighting with you, the zombies could attack her. It's just so strange, I don't even have an explanation for it. Was it a programming oversight? Was it being somehow sexist again? I have no idea. If anyone watching this can think of a rational explanation, I'd love to hear it. And then Sebastian and Joseph lift this door for Kidman to go through and unlock the other door. "'Cause we can't let the girl lift the thing. Gotta let the big strong man do it for her." Normally I wouldn't think anything of it, but Sebastian is the main character. He's the one I'm controlling, yet he has nothing to do while Kidman is over there doing things. The player can only just stand there while Kidman unlocks the door. Also, if you didn't notice from that cutscene, Kidman has a wet t-shirt here. Come on, guys. Once again, normally I wouldn't think anything of it. She was just in that water tank. But when Sebastian goes in the water, his clothes don't get wet when he comes out. And he's the main character. He's the one that they probably spent the most time on. And yet they go out of their way to give Kidman a wet t-shirt in this sequence. Why would they do that? Okay, easy answer. Boobies. So then, Diabolus a Machina, you get separated from the group and have to fight the bloody long-haired girl. Again, it's not clear if I'm actually hurting the boss. She screams when you hit her with fire, but it gives you a big selection with torches, exploding barrels, and fire pits. And after you hit her with every single one, she's still alive, even on easy. So I wasn't sure if I was doing the right thing. Turns out, she just has so many hit points they have to repeat the fire pit traps a few times. Or just use guns, I guess, even though the loading screen advised against it.
Sebastian? Sebastian? Sebastian?
Okay, that was cool. But it's impossible to have a story going when it keeps warping me all over the place. Not that this game has given me any story yet. All we know is Ruvik is doing some kind of experiment with bathtubs. What's up? Waves of guys. So scary. And more waves of guys. Really? And reusing boss battles. That's just lazy. I also don't know how I'm gonna beat him since I used all my ammo on the waves of guys. Killed him with 4 bullets, 2 bolts, and 2 grenades left. I suppose that's one way to intensify the game. Not a good way, but a way. Still can't take his chainsaw. Finally, some backstory on Sebastian after 3.5 hours. Let's see here. He has a daughter. That doesn't count as character development. Stop coughing, Joseph. I can see you're in good health right over there. And here we see the entirety of Joseph's character development. He'd rather die than become a monster. And later he does. Spoilers. So then you have to fight some more guys. Just because. It actually has really bad pacing with the scene right before where Joseph threatens suicide.
Where do you suppose we are?
More like when? This architecture seems straight out of the Middle Ages.
Yeah, but there's electricity. Elevators. This place can't be real.
That's actually a clue. This world is actually a combination of several people's thoughts and memories, which is a major reason why the symbolism doesn't work well. Some things obviously relate to Sebastian or Ruvik, but other things like this medieval architecture don't seem to come from anyone we know. But there are a lot of people hooked up to the machine, so it could be coming from a character you don't even see in the game. It makes it so everything conveniently fits in the world even if it doesn't seem like it, but it's a lazy way to make half the monsters and locations not need metaphor or reason. Underwater fire. Yeah. Another unclear boss fight. Who would have thought that you could kill these guys with enough damage? They certainly don't react in any way to being shot or even blown up. And then there's another boss fight really soon after. So here's the deal with this one. It's a barbed wire direwolf that hides in the bushes and only comes out to attack you. It's nearly impossible to attack it while it's in the bush, so you have to wait until it jumps out. It makes it a difficult boss fight because whenever you have an opening for attack, you also have to dodge its attacks. Then you kill it and get Joseph out of there. It comes back to life for some reason, and Joseph tells you that he dropped his glasses like a moron. It's much easier to get his glasses because you don't have to worry about attacking, you can just dodge. But then Sebastian says,
Jeez, Joseph, all that for a pair of glasses.
Giving Joseph a hard time about it. But really, it was no problem. Once again, they made this game too much like a movie. If it was a movie, they could have made it a big deal to get his glasses back. But because this is a video game, it could be easy or hard depending on how the player approaches the situation. So Sebastian's reaction seems to come out of nowhere because they assumed it would be difficult. Falling into a sideways hallway is still a cool effect, but now even this game has done it before. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. What do these do? Where did that come from? I couldn't see that. Oh, it was totally there the whole time. Well, I would have seen that if it wasn't for the fucking letterboxes. So then it introduces this enemy that pukes on you like a lying figure from Silent Hill 2. Yeah, I get it. You played Silent Hill 2. But the reason why the lying figure pukes on you is it represents Mary's illness. In this game, no one is sick. Well, there's mental illness, but it's not the same. I guess they could argue that one of the other people hooked into the machine is sick, but that's idiotic. Ah, kill it, kill it, kill it! Fist of Steel! So you have to fight this boss with a safe on his head. I mentioned earlier that this guy's a Pyramid Head ripoff, but now that I've given a spoiler warning, I can explain why. He wears metallic geometry as a hat. He wears an apron to keep the gore off his clothes. He uses an oversized, unwieldy tool for a weapon. He has a bullshit insta-kill attack. He can't be killed, but while Pyramid Head is invincible, Safe Head just respawns whenever he dies. He chases your ally to an elevator, but things turn out a little better for Joseph. You have to fight two of them at the same time, right near the end of the game, and at one point he kills himself. So yeah, he's Pyramid Head. But while Pyramid Head is such a cool character for having so many levels of symbolism for James Sunderland's character, Safe Head only exists because Rubik said that he trapped a safe when he found out someone was stealing his data. Kinda lame. But it's not just the character that's lame. The whole boss fight sucks. This one really is a puzzle boss. To win, you have to turn off all these valves to get rid of the poison gas, which makes it so you can't see shit. Each valve has a button mashing QuickTime event, but it turns out that no matter how fast you mash, it will always take the same amount of time. Now each valve takes a different amount of time to turn, but if you die and have to turn the same valve again, it takes the same amount of time as long as you're mashing a little bit. It's once again taking control out of the player's hands, but here it's giving the illusion of control. It's tricking you into thinking you're making a difference, but really it's all scripted. And then there's the Instakill Attacks. This fight has the perfect example of why Instakill Attacks suck. So this is a long fight. It takes about 6 minutes if you know what you're doing, and here I was almost done. I already turned off the poison gas, I just had to get to the end. I was dodging one of Safe Head's attacks when I ran into one of his traps that he sets, and he killed me instantly. If you're gonna kill a player instantly and make them redo a significant portion of the game, it should at least be the player's own fault. But as you can see here, I couldn't see the trap at all, and if my camera was watching a direction that could see the trap, then I wouldn't have been able to see Safe Head's attacks coming. I was killed by bad luck. Random chance. And it set me back over 5 minutes, again and again. Once again, this is a video game. You can't predict whether or not the player will be able to see these things coming. And to have a punishment as severe as instant death for something the player might not notice is fucking brainless. Yet, this game gives insta-kill attacks to so many enemies. And this guy is attacking me while he's clipped halfway through a wall. That's not related to Safe Head, but it's still fucking weird. Okay, let's punch through these boards. Or kick that guy. That's fine. Is he dead? Yeah, he's dead. Can't get through. Maybe with a running start. Gah! Bullshit. So it introduces these new enemies that are like child zombies crawling around on the ground. And once again, the symbolism falls short. I think these are supposed to represent Sebastian's daughter, who died in a fire. Spoiler. They're supposed to remind him of that tragedy, but the thing is, they don't seem to affect him in any way. I mean, even a normal person should be like, whoa, killing kids? That's messed up. But Sebastian is just like, curb stomping babies? Another day, another dollar. Whoa, did you see the way that one exploded? Fucking rad. It seems to me that the game is just trying to make everything actiony and fun at any given moment. But they don't take the time to show any kind of psychological effect on the characters, which is a problem for a game that advertises itself as a psychological horror. Now there's this cutscene. Doc says they're in everyone's mind, but Ruvik is the only one in control, and his goal is to kill everyone except for Leslie. He needs Leslie to get out. But it brings up the question, what is stopping Ruvik? We've seen a few times that he can teleport himself at will, and he can warp everyone else wherever he wants. There doesn't seem to be a single thing stopping him from teleporting himself to Leslie's location and teleporting everyone else off a cliff, or to the bottom of the ocean, or inside a fucking wall. It doesn't make any sense. Whatever, moving on.
Shit.
Directions unclear, shot on leg. But seriously, this is really unclear. I thought I had to shoot the rope, which came out of nowhere, by the way. There's no tripwire or anything. I never would have figured it out if it didn't emphasize that box after killing me. And even when you know what you're doing, it's hard because all of a sudden your gun becomes really inaccurate. Really poorly designed trap. Not to mention it's about 6 minutes away from the last save point. In this same level, there's this simple yet nice puzzle where you have to count the people on the top and bottom halves of this painting and put it into this safe-like combination. But it's the weirdest thing. It solves the puzzle for you. When you put the dials on, it automatically rotates to the correct answer. What's the point of putting a puzzle in the game if the player doesn't even have to find the solution? You get in a fight with a blood mist monster in this mannequin area. Why mannequins? Because mannequins are scary. No other reason. No reason at all. A luck? I know how to handle this. Fist of steel! No, wait. Why didn't that work? It worked before. Oh. Ah, how about that? It has an insta-kill attack. Once again, an insta-kill attack kills me without it being my fault. The game just changed the rules on me in a time-sensitive situation.
Rich bastards think they can buy up all our land.
They need to be shown who really owns these parts.
Hey, I think there's kids in there.
I didn't hear anything.
Yes, of course, when someone is trying to buy your land, you really only have 3 options. 1. You accept the offer and get some money in return. 2. You decline the offer and keep your land. 3. You burn down their fucking barn. Even when you hear the sounds of children inside. They didn't even stop to find out whose kids were in there. Could have been anyone's. Oh well, doesn't matter. That'll show them for legally buying our land with mutual agreement. I'll help them out. Check this out. The game assumed I would be able to see that coming because it had the press A to look thing pop up. They had no way of knowing that I would be too preoccupied with a guy attacking me to look. And I had no way of knowing that the thing it wanted me to look at was going to kill me. Insta-kill attacks are stupid. My hand is in a wall. Oh, it hurts so bad. The best way to approach any stealth situation, as first. Let's take a look at some more bad design. In this area, you need power to open this door. But that starts up a bunch of traps in this area. You're in an area blocked off by spinning blades. Now check out what happens when this door opens. Well yeah, I ran into instant death, but that one was my fault. I panicked when I saw the big new enemy that I'd never seen before. But the most important thing that you were supposed to see is that. Yeah. That's the switch that opens the exit, and it was placed right behind the big intimidating enemy that you haven't seen before, so it's unlikely you'll see it. And then watch what happens when you do hit the switch. Yeah, did you see that one? That over there is the exit opening, but from the perspective you get when you're using the switch is partially obscured by the big spinning death blades 2 feet from your face. You have no way of knowing these things are there unless you can see them. Yet this game keeps putting big things that are trying to kill you in the way of your view. Ugh. Then it reuses a boss again, but this one's better than last time because it introduces a new mechanic. Then there's this boss. It's a bunch of monsters stuck into one body, representing a bunch of people stuck in one mind because they're hooked into this machine. Cool. You kill it by shooting it in the glowy eye like a Zelda boss. Then after enough damage it grows a vagina mouth eye. Don't ask me what that represents. And it gets an insta-kill attack. Surprise. Wow, this area is actually pretty cool. If only they had put it 6 hours earlier when I was still giving this game a chance. And I don't think I have to point out the Silent Hill similarities at this point. But I will. Oh! I have to give it credit, that scare got me. Normally that kind of thing wouldn't bother me, but I wouldn't put it past this game to use an insta-kill trap like that. Because, you know, it has. So yeah, good scare for all the wrong reasons. And then the game crashed. Yeah, reminds me of another sanity-based game Bethesda worked on. Cthulhu. I'm dying. Looking at the crash report, it seems like it was just trying to access a texture that didn't exist. Rookie mistake. What, do they have a bunch of high school students working on this game or something? Remember when this game was trying to be scary and not just a shooting gallery based on The Purge? Good times. No wait, it sucked then too. I am clipping through this window and it's right in the middle of the path. You would have to go out of your way to not clip into this. Glass windows stop sniper bullets. Who knew?
Hey, I think I might have found us some transportation.
How is a bus gonna help you? Have you seen the roads? Well, it sure is convenient that we're on the only road that's intact. Not to mention we're driving in a completely straight line without hitting debris. Oh yeah, and there's a giant monster. I don't even care at this point.
So you figure we ought to cut to the chase and just head straight for the hospital?
Exactly.
Nice work, Detective.
That's where I thought we were going this whole time. What the fuck was everyone else's plan for the last 9.5 hours? This game has less story than I thought.
There's an ambulance there. There might be some kind of first aid. I'll go.
No, I'll do it. Don't let any of them on board.
Once again, not letting the female character do anything. But this time it makes game design sense. I am the playable character, and someone has to stay with Joseph. You know they ran out of ideas when they throw a turret section at you. Nothing scarier than instantly turning waves of guys into a red mist. Oh, looks like this section is over. Psych! One more wave! Woo! You know, it was the scariest thing when they let me drive a bus and run over bad guys to kill them in one hit. Wait, I feel like I've said this in a different review. I'm no expert at disarming traps, but I don't think he's doing it right. Yep, that's an invisible wall. Who knew killing Ruvik would be that easy? I'll see you in hell. Acquire luck used by destroying goddess figures. How was I supposed to know that? I've seen those things all over the place. I didn't know what to do with them. What, do they think I'm some kind of destruction-craving violence whore who breaks everything in sight? Isaac Clarke! You know how I've been saying again and again that the characters' backstories aren't affecting the way the characters act? Perfect example. Ruvik's sister died in a fire, and he got burned really bad too. You would think that would give him a psychological aversion to fire, but here, when Sebastian sets Ruvik on fire, he's not scared or anything. He just seems angry. Hell, Sebastian would have an aversion to fire too. His daughter died in a fire. You'd think fire would bring back memories of that, but he's setting corpses on fire this whole game like it was nothing. There I was. Mother of God. There I am. Holy fuck. So Ruvik gets Leslie about 11.5 hours slower than he could have with the powers he has. Whatever. Final boss time. And what does this fight comprise of? How about a chase sequence? With Instakill Attacks, obviously. But don't worry, it puts you back exactly where you were when you died, so there's literally no penalty for death in this fight. So here's the thing. You have to dodge these arms, but you don't know which direction they're going to move until it's too late. It's practically trial and error, memorizing where the attacks will land and avoiding those areas. Clearly they saved the best boss design for last. The next stage of the boss is two turret sections. 1, 2. This one's a rocket launcher, but you can't move, so it's still a turret. And the final section is an aiming quick time event. Because there's no better way to end a horror game, or any game for that matter, than a quick time event. And this time you have to watch the same cutscene again every single time you miss the target, which is really fucking small, by the way. And that's it. This game is terrible. Do me a favor. No, do yourself a favor, and don't buy it. Don't support this product. Don't get the DLC. I already gave more money than this piece of shit deserves when I bought the game for myself on sale. I wouldn't play the DLC if you paid me. This is one of the worst AAA games that I've ever played. I repeat, do not buy this game.